want to welcome you to today's introduction of our outstanding teachers from Renton School District this month. We always give them a little break in September so that they can get their rooms and curriculum in order. I will introduce each one, and they will then introduce the administrator who is with them and tell a little bit about themselves and what they're going to do with their money. So let's start with Cheryl.
Hi, excuse me, my voice is a little raspy today. My name is, thank you. My name is Cheryl Luttrell, and I am a CTE business and marketing teacher at Lindbergh High School. And I teach classes like social media marketing, financial algebra, and the school store, as well as the DECA advisor.
So what are you going to do with your money that you get from Rotary?
That's a really great question. I had a really hard time trying to decide what to spend my money on. And, you know, I'm going to kind of go back to the basics. I have a lot of students that just ask for things like pencils, pens, spiral notebooks. And anytime I get my hands on those, they disappear really fast. So basic school supplies.
That's wonderful. That sounds really great. And when we might not think about that at the high school level, but of course it makes sense. What kind of challenges or exciting things, what is happening at your school today?
Well, currently we're in the middle of our homecoming season, so that's pretty awesome. But I'm going to say that a challenge this year for me so far is just really trying to make sure that the students reconnect with each other and on a verbal basis. You know, they were so isolated for so long, and then being back in the classroom, sometimes they just don't know how to talk to each other and work with each other. So it's been really fun to introduce like presentations again and group projects and all that stuff. So that's been a challenge, but comes out of like increasing, you know, student voice and student choice and building those relationships with each other, and then my relationships with them. And it's been great to just have everybody back in the building.
That's really interesting to me as a former high school teacher. I would think of those things being more elementary, but you know, kids are kids and they still need to be encouraged and to help them connect. That's wonderful. Would you introduce your administrator, please?
Absolutely. This is Thomas Cottle. He is our principal at Lindbergh, and he's in his third year of being our principal.
You want to say something nice about Cheryl, Tom?
Oh, I'll dig deep and try and find something. Cheryl's amazing. Like she said, this is my third year, and very quickly I figured out that she was a veteran person in the building. She's held multiple roles. She has historical knowledge and context of systems at Lindbergh. She quickly became a person I can rely on. She's a teacher leader. She's a department head. She's a CTE facilitator, which is a new role this year. And I know that regardless of the initiative I want to talk to her about, or just a perception check I'd like to get, that she's going to speak her truth to me, even if that means she has to tell me things that maybe I don't want to hear, right? She's a kid magnet. And I know that she is willing to take on things that make adult life a little bit more challenging to make things a little bit better for kids. So I'm very appreciative of her, and she's the kind of person that you want to clone and have dozens of in your school, because we'd be pushing the pace for sure. So you're great, Cheryl. I love you.
That's wonderful. It's good to have people that will tell you the truth, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's very, very important. Thank you both so much. Let's go to Cassie.
Hi guys, I'm Cassie Burke, and I teach third grade highly capable at Talbot Hill Elementary. There have been a lot of challenges since we've come back from COVID, but one that has really always been there is the challenge that every student has different abilities, which is also kind of fun because then I get to learn and grow as a human and a teacher as I help them learn and grow as a student. And then I plan to spend my money on some STEM supplies for students in the classroom to engage in some STEM activities, and then also some SEL, so maybe some like fidgets or flexible seating to go along with supporting my students on a day-to-day basis.
Just in case we have some business people in the Rotary who don't know what STEM is yet, will you tell
STEM.
us what that's about?
Like science, technology, engineering, and math. So just like science experiments or tinkering. I was also thinking about getting items that students can just explore how they work and figure out just how science and technology works on a hands-on level versus like just looking at a video about it.
What exciting things are happening at your school today?
So there's a lot of exciting stuff. We have all of our students back from virtual for the first time since COVID started, which is awesome. And students, like Cheryl said, are just learning how to connect again, how to work together, how to make friends. And it's been really fun to watch everyone just become a community. Nancy, I think you're muted.
Sorry. I was muted. I was trying to be a good girl and follow directions. Would you introduce your administrator, please?
Yeah, this is Holly Nielsen, and she's our principal here at Talbot Hill.
And Holly, would you say something for us so that we'll know a little bit more about Kazi?
Yes, it is my pleasure to speak about Kazi. She is one of our very best and brightest. In addition to just being an absolutely amazing, gifted educator, she is an incredible staff support in that she stepped in during the very, very hardest time, which was remote learning. Where it was a heavy lift for everyone to learn all the new skills and strategies. And she stepped in as just a tremendous support for staff. She fulfills two roles that in other buildings are generally held by different people. So she is our building technical support person and also our TIS, which Kazi, please remind me what that stands for because I always forget that acronym.
I think it's technology integrated specialist. So it's like learning how to use technology to support education versus like fixing a computer.
Correct. Which
I do
Kazi
both.
also does. She does both of those things. And so not only does she feel the need of instructing our students at a really high, really engaging level, but she supports the learning that's happening with staff. And I also love that Kazi was one of our very first hires when I came as principal at Talbot Hill. So Kazi and I have been together at Talbot Hill for our entire time at Talbot. So I always like to point that out too.
That's fabulous. Miss Jackson, what can you tell us about yourself today?
I am Quinta Jackson, and I teach ILC at Hazelwood Elementary. One of the challenging things in ILC is we teach multiple grade levels, multiple ability levels, and it's always the challenge of differentiating. But I love that about my job, and I love to be able to provide high-level education and inclusion for all of my students. Like I said, we have so many ability levels and so many awesome students, but just figuring out how to support them even in the gen ed classroom is a passion of mine. And so that's what I do.
That's great.
Oh, as far as about how I would spend my money, I would definitely get bookshelves for my classroom. One of the things that my students love is library time. We have a class job of librarian. They love checking out books. They love reading books. They love being engaged with books. And I moved from one classroom to another, and this one doesn't have as many bookshelves. So we need some bookshelves.
That sounds like it's going to be meeting a very practical need. Would you introduce your administrator, please?
I have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Baron Yu. He is our assistant principal and an amazing administrator. He always helps me anytime. I'm brand new here. This is my second year. But anytime I have an issue or a situation, he's always there to talk and just kind of help me solve things. So, Mr. Yu.
What a
Thank
wonderful support that is. Mr. Yu.
Thanks for that kind introduction, Ms. Jackson. It's always a pleasure to talk about Ms. Jackson. She says she's brand new to here. However, her experiences is myriad experiences, all sorts of programming in special education world. And so it's so great to, and an honor for the Rotary to just, you know, allow folks like Ms. Jackson to shine on the Teacher of the Month. And I just really appreciate that. Secondly, Ms. Tinchin, our principal, is currently getting a doctorate. So I'm here on her behalf because she wanted to join here too. So she wants to celebrate Ms. Jackson's accomplishment as well. And we introduced the honor to the entire school and staff this morning. Everybody was celebrating, and it was a great experience just to see, you know, just have joy and harmony. And that's what Ms. Jackson brings to our community. She didn't mention it. She also is involved into like hands-on learning, STEM. She'd be asking for paper mache, anything she can get her hands on, she's going to create like science experiments with. And so her scholars in her classroom they know how to erupt things. They know how to make things flow with liquids, you know. And so, you know, some of our scholars are just having a great time there in Miss Jackson. And during the school day, you see her everywhere and nowhere, right? So when she's talking about inclusion, she is literally including those scholars in the gen ed setting, in all settings, in their natural environment, so they can learn and get that and bring that charisma, you know, to their nature, and that natural nature of just like joy and harmony. And it's just beautiful to see how they connect all that into Miss Jackson's class. And it's a classroom, however, it's more of a community. It's also part of our bigger school community, and just seeing that connection, how scholars, especially this year, are feeling included in that capacity is an amazing and magnificent thing. And I just want to, you know, thank Ms. Jackson for that experience. So it's great to see.
I want to thank you all for being so articulate and so energetic and so positive. I know you have a hard job, and I know that there are challenges, but I know that our kids are in good hands with you. Thank you again so much.